Ashe, everyone. Listen, right now it's nighttime. Well, it's either night or really, really early. It's like 12 o'clock, right? So I don't know who's up. I don't know, but sometimes you just kind of have to speak, tank top, panties on, hair colored, whatever. I actually did this today. It came out really interesting, so we're gonna rock with it. But as I am sipping my tea, because tea is life, a thought came to me, and I wanted to share this thought with you because I think that you will understand what I'm saying or what's happening. So I have this mug. And the mug literally says, I talk to myself because I need an expert advice. Or of course I talk to myself because I need an expert advice. And I was just thinking to myself, I was like, I do talk to myself. And I'm not an expert, but I do give really good advice. So as I was sitting here talking to myself, and I was answering myself like I was having a whole conversation. I just want to put that out there so that you understand what was going on. It hit me that a lot of us don't know how to just be okay, right? So I was sitting here and I'm just like, it's quiet. I'm relaxed. My mind is all right. I'm getting things done. But then it hit me. Why is it so hard to just be okay? Why is it so hard to literally just relax? I've heard so many people say that it's so easy to relax. All you have to do is do nothing. And I'm like, do nothing? Like nothing? Like absolutely like nothing? And they're like, yeah, you do nothing. And I'm like, okay. So what starts to happen? You guessed it. I start to think about doing nothing. And then I think about why I'm thinking about not doing anything. And then I get upset because I'm thinking about the fact that I'm thinking about not doing something. It goes there. So I said to myself, what does okay look like? And it's so funny because sometimes you really have to ask yourself some real questions. Like, what would it feel like to genuinely be okay? What does it smell like? How does it look? And funny enough, when I said what it would look like, it wasn't what you would think. It was more so like my eyes look brighter. My skin looks clear. My hair is growing and it's glowing, whatever that means. I'm skipping down the street with a long dress, right? I'm drinking some tea. I'm in the grass. I'm looking at the animals. I noticed that being okay didn't look like how people made okay look. And what I mean by that is okay does not have the highest energy feeling like the word great or fantastic. Fantastic and great is like high levels, But when somebody says they're okay, it's like, what's wrong? Like there's still this undertone. So I never really had my own concept of what okay was or if it was a good thing or bad thing. I knew that when people would say they're okay to me, I'd just be like, okay, what's really going on? And I as I'm sitting here with my tea, I'm like, maybe I don't know how to feel okay because I never really defined what okay looks like and feels like for me. What I believe it to be, what I understand it to be. You get what I'm saying? I think that so many of us have this idea of what things are supposed to be that we literally do not give ourselves the space or show ourselves the compassion to be like, I never just sat down and defined it for myself. I never just said, you know what? This is what it looks like to me. When you get married, people are like, well, marriage is for love, or marriage is for a business, or marriage is for kids. Well, what is marriage to you? And does your partner agree? Keyword, do they agree? And are they in alignment? with you and your beliefs and your concepts and what you gathered, right? So I had to take back that word and say, I want to be okay just being okay. And then I said to myself, what does okay look like to me? Not the overall spectrum, not what does it look like to her and what does it look like to him. It's like, well, what does it look like to me? And that's when it hit me. I'm going to define it. And I feel like we need to give ourselves permission to define things in our own language, in our own energy, with our own thoughts. Because if we listen to this world, we will always get confused. Like I promise you, being a woman in 2022, I feel like this is probably the hardest year because nowadays it's kind of like, and I'm moving off topic for like a second, but it's all together, right? 2022 has literally just made me question everything about myself as a woman. Because first, it's like, as a woman, be independent, be strong, handle stuff on your own. But don't be too independent because you want a man to be there. But don't rely on no man because you can do it on yourself. But you don't want to feel so independent to the point where when he comes, he feels like he can't help you. So you want to make your man feel helpful. You want to be feminine, but you don't want to be too feminine like you're a damsel in distress. And I'm like, you know what? I want to be a tree. I want to be a nice, tall tree that bears nice, juicy apples. Just leave me be. Leave me be. And I realized with that mindset, with the energy of like, what does society say? Because, society would say, okay, there's always some undertone. People usually don't use the word okay in the sense of, I am great. It's kind of like, I'm okay. Like, there's something else that's going on, but they just don't want to tell you, right? So I just took a second. I'm like, well, why can't we just be okay? Why does okay have to feel so bad? And can I take that word back and define it for me? And of course I can, because I had a conversation with myself and we agreed that we could do this. But what I think we should all do, even you listening, I think that we should take a second to ask ourselves what we want for ourselves and remove what everybody else thinks. If we say we want a good life, what does a good life look like to us? Because not everybody wants to be a millionaire. And not everybody wants to have kids. Not everybody wants to get married. Not everybody's trying to be in the gym. Not everybody's trying to do the things that everybody thinks everybody's trying to do. So it's like, well, what does a good life look like to you? And then it's like, where do you want to be for yourself? And what does that look like? Like, I think we need to go back into imagination. We need to go back to imagination world, because I feel as though so many of us have really got lost in the sauce of society. I think so many of us have become very sensitive to words, sensitive to energies. I take breaks from people so much because it's just too much energy. And it's not that they're bad or anything. It's just a lot of energy everywhere. And I reside in New York, so you already know the energy here is just intense. But I had to say to myself, I'm in control. And if I'm truly in control, then I could have a mistake at 10:29 and at 10:30 rebirth myself. So I made a decision while I'm in my blue panties. I said, you know what? I'm going to take back my power and give the energies that I've been holding on to back to those people it belongs to. Because a lot of us are holding on to energies that we don't need to hold on to. Like when I said to myself, why can't I just be okay? I had a real deep conversation and I realized I've been around people who made me feel like being okay was not a good thing. And being okay was a problem. And being okay wasn't attainable. Like just being in an environment where it was just like, you got to be great or you got to be whatever, right? So what I want to leave with you today is define what feels good to you. And honestly, fuck what everybody else has to say. There's no other way to say it. But really define, what does a good life feel like? What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does being okay really feel like to you? and really acknowledge, like, it's okay to be okay. And if you don't know how to be okay, don't even beat yourself up, because a lot of us don't know how to be okay. If you don't know how to be okay, but you want to be okay, that's where you start to define, what does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it do? Like, what do you do when you're just okay? And then you start to implement that energy into you daily. Right? I think it's good. I think we had a good chat, right? I'll be back. Don't worry. I'll see you soon. I'm not gonna be gone that long. And get out of here, you crazy.